It's finally time. Let's look at more Pokemon leaks. We should be done this part. F these leaks. I don't know how to get back into this. Oh yeah, first ever look from Gamefreak at Aster. Yes, so this is exactly what's going on. This is Aster. So Xenia is crazy calling this Whismur Aster. People thought, was it her daughter that she lost? Here's the answer right freaking here. Xenia's a little girl, and the previous lore keeper is freaking Aster. Who are these goons? Yo, these are a bunch of Draconids. You got a buff dude, skinny girl, grandma, children the size of Bagon, and if you look what's coiled around his hand, it's a Rayquaza coiled up. But look, this is also shown on Aster. She has it on her wrist. Even the grandma, which I'm assuming is the main one, has a staff with it. This gives a whole different meaning to her freaking crap right here. That's a Rayquaza with his ribbons. That's his head right there. Obviously, the Draconids are a clan that witnessed Rayquaza 1,000 years ago. Some stories go more 1,000 years back, but the idea is the Draconids found this giant keystone, and they're the ones that wished for Rayquaza to Mega Evolve and either stop Primal Kyogre and Groudon or stop a giant meteor from striking. They've met Rayquaza. Look at the cape Xenia's wearing, right? It's the same cape Aster has, I'm thinking, but it got all burnt. However Aster died, I'm assuming it's some tragic crap. I know this is Pokemon, but look behind the scenes. They got more stuff figured out. Like, look at Acerula last episode. The whole royal family wiped out. She's raised in an orphanage. Similar things could have happened here. However Aster died, she might have got freaking burnt up. And so she's like, frick, I'm still keeping the cape. It's a sad thing. Wow, that is so adorable. You know, this is a whole weak spot for Pokemon. Look at all the thought they already put into it. There's a whole cast that just never made it into the games. Here's what you can do, Pokemon. In a future Legends game, 2 ideas. Either 1, save the Draconid crap for a more fitting game, or 2, this is the fitting game with Legends EA. We don't know if that A is a delta like Rayquaza, the only other Mega Pokemon, alongside seemingly Zygarde, who's supposed to Mega Evolve unless they scrap that. This is the game where you could show ancient Draconids. You could rehash these designs and show them in the past. Even freaking forget that. Show a character that looks like Xenia in the past, where she got longer hair. Maybe it's white. Either way, let's keep going. Dugong originally was planned to have a fairy water Alolan form. That's so freaking fitting. You know, with Sun and Moon, the first Pokemon they tackled as regional variants was Kanto Pokemon, just to make sure it's something everyone's familiar with. That is so unbelievably fitting. Let's look at the original Alolan forms and see why it got cancelled. Raticate, Sandslash, Ninetales. What the frick? Yo, if you go through the Alolan forms, there are, guess how many water types there are? Freaking 0. Which makes me think the only reason they scrapped Dugong is they didn't want to put too many in their first game. Even in terms of blue designs, like this Dugong would have looked like, it's really only Ninetales and Sandslash. There's no reason this should have been scrapped, aside from what I just said. Water Fairy's incredible. Dugong sounds like the perfect candidate to get the Galarian treatment, where you give it a regional variant like Water Fairy, but that evolves further. Freaking make Dugong cool again. Was he ever? Alolan Snorlax was also scrapped, but we knew that already. Yeah, no thanks to you. So there's no details about Alolan Snorlax, but I realized something while I was going through the last video I recorded, which is it's obvious what Alolan Snorlax was gonna be. One, this is just my opinion. Look at Hala's design. That man got the closed eyes. He looked like a Snorlax. Is that racist to say? And Hala is a fighting type trainer. So that was supposed to be a Snorlax that was more active and would actually be throwing freaking kung fu punches and looking a lot like Hala. A pure fighting type Snorlax. Either the Snorlax could have been all buff, but I kind of imagine it to just be straight chubby again. Maybe actually more so like a sumo wrestler. A freaking sumo Snorlax. With that idea, it actually sounds like it's not the original. it's some variant. With Snorlax, we kind of have the picture painted, right? Munchlax is a glutton, Snorlax is the end result of that. So if anything, that does sound like the original. Well, you know, let's see what people said. I'm sad. Even when Sun and Moon released, Little Me was sad we didn't get an Alolan Dugong based on the Hawaiian monk seal, but that's a specific sadness. What the frick? Is he lying? I don't know. I know 99/100% of the internet does lie. Yo, the frick? We got robbed. Say it again. Gamefreak, count your freaking days. For freaking what? Wait, what the frick is this? What is this? All scrapped Alolan forms. Electric Rock Rhyhorn. Hold up. They might have planned a counterpart to freaking Golem. Because pretty much Rhyperior is a trait evolution too. It kind of works out as a counterpart if you wanted to force it. That makes sense why it's scrapped. Water Fairy Seal and Dugong. A bug. That's a wild one. A bug fairy Scyther? Well, Scizor replaces the flying typing, so it would just be freaking bug steel again for Scizor. Okay, and then the last one is Snorlax. I want to put an asterisk beside Scyther because this might have been the Galarian spin. They might have, because remember, Cleaver doesn't exist now, so don't think of there being a whole split evolution from Scyther. They might have intended to introduce a different evolution unique to this bug fairy Scyther. Maybe even instead of a metal coat. Because think about it, you give an ice stone to Vulpix anyway, not just a firestone somehow again. So there might have been some item that you trade a Alolan Scyther holding and it evolves into Scizor is a pincer, Cleaver is an axe. What would you make this third one? I have no idea. I mean, how many more weapons are there? They're all the same. A sword, a dagger, a lance. I suppose if you want to go for a fairy look, so graceful, you could have a bug fairy Scyther evolve. And this makes no freaking sense. A bow and arrow? Forget everything I said. They not giving Scyther a bow and arrow. Until they freaking do. Just freaking Pokemon. They do some weird things. That might even be the item you equip Scyther with. A freaking some kind of bow. Let's keep going. Some interesting facts here. Alola was supposed to have fossil Pokemon. 2 version exclusives. One rock water and the other rock something. No evolutions. Yeah, I'm remembering now. This is entirely Alola territory. All the leaks we've been covering. And then Mimikyu was gonna have 2 version exclusive forms. Dressing as other 2 Pokemon. Oh, that's incredible. So the most common form would be this Pikachu Mimikyu because it's the mascot. But there would be, if you just keep going and encountering Pokemon in a serverless trial, maybe there's like a 1% chance you find a rare form. Now, if it was just Pikachu that Mimikyu wanted to copy, its version exclusives could be something boring, like a Plusle and Minun Mimikyu, because it took the wrong rag disguise. But Pikachu has nothing to do with it, specifically. For Mimikyu, its Pokedex entries say it's a lonely Pokemon, and it conceals its terrifying appearance beneath an old rag so it can get closer to people and other Pokemon. So the reason it resembles a Pikachu is to be as loved as possible. But then, contrary to the images we saw earlier of what apparently is below the Mimikyu cloak, one other entry from the start was always that its actual appearance is unknown, and when someone did decide to take a peek, they were overwhelmed with terror and died from the shock. So it's a simple situation. Mimikyu finds a disguise just to look less terrifying. Don't ask me then why, by the way, this one looks so cute. I can't answer it. But yeah, its other 2 disguises might have been something very simple, like a freaking Clefairy. You know? Like you finally get that 1% encounter and this Clefairy looking thing pops up called Mimikyu. So Clefairy and then some other counterpart. Planned Gen 7 buffs. So here's some chart by Morimoto. And some of the specifics here is that Will-O-Wisp ghosts were gonna be immune to the move Will-O-Wisp, which makes sense because it's a ghostly move. It's a wisp that you're actually burning the enemy with. It's kind of like a curse. So of course Ghost could be imagined to be immune to that. Toxic having 100 accuracy when used by bugs? Dragon Killer, an ability that deals double damage to dragons? The gen after X and Y, you still not done? You still torturing them. Sticky Web would now be buffed to affect flying and levitating mons? Nah, that makes no sense. Dark type mons being immune to Intimidate. Wow, that's so specific. That's pretty good. You imagine dark types aren't immediately scared of what everyone else is. They're not intimidated. And then grass moves. Oh, this they should have kept. They were gonna buff grass moves to doing 50% more under the sun. This is a hard one to say because obviously it's balanced. Rain buffs water, sun buffs fire. But if you were to add a second layer, another typing that both benefit, grass on sun and like electric on water on the rain would be pretty sick. Might be too confusing though. But honestly, if you think about it right now, rain and sun are pretty simple. There's room to make it just a bit more nuanced. What the frick? Scrapped Ultra Beast for the 20th movie? Called Mozura. Like a moth? It says Beast Y here. So like, what was it? UB01 and crap. This was gonna be UBY. Ultra Beast Y. Some special codenamed one. Bipedal with wings. Ultra Beast returning. I'm so hype. OMG. Give us some white designs. What is Mozura? Bipedal with wings. We were gonna get flying cheese Ultra Beast? Oh, I never thought of it as cheese. We were robbed. Yeah, that's more like it, Holly. Censor yourself. Now, I know Pokemon is a fan of the stuff they do in Japan, like Godzilla, Mothra, and crap, which is why they keep revisiting Tyranitar's design and making freaking another Tyranitar again and again. This is far before the Paradox Pokemon. It kind of sounds like if they wanted to make a Mothra-inspired Pokemon, that is right here. It's gonna be an Ultra Beast. Now, what was Pokemon Movie 20? Let me see. Oh, it's the freaking reboot. Because movie 19 is the final movie in Pokemon. It's Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. And then it just freaking ends there, in a certain sense. Instead of the reboot happening at all, they were trying to push some Ultra Beast movie for Gen 7. Remember earlier in the leak, they said there was a 4th mythical Pokemon in X and Y that was scrapped? I know we're in Sun and Moon era right now, but think about it. Movie 19 right before this was Volcanion finally. Volcanion was known for like 2 years before it finally got officially revealed and then put in a movie. So if there was a 4th mythical Pokemon, it might have been that as well as this Ultra Beast that was gonna be the 20th movie. Kind of like, you know, Giratina and the Sky Warrior, Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. Well, it's dead anyway. And you know what else is dead? That sick movie they wrote after. Massive leak regarding Pokemon Movie 20 I Choose You. Okay, this is the 20 that became. Masuda wasn't a fan of Ash's depiction in the movie, despite it having good reception in Japanese audience. Oh, Masuda, you got a brain? Masuda says, the movie really made me hate Ash. Pikachu regularly conveys its love to Ash, but he continues to hurt Pikachu and his other Pokemon. Once he awakens from his dream, he doesn't apologize to anyone. That scene should have been used to show Ash and Pikachu's adventures so far. The callbacks to the TV anime's memorable moments all fell half-baked, and Ash's love for Pokemon isn't well conveyed. What the frick you say, Masuda? Yo, games are half-baked. How we got a brain when criticizing other aspects of Pokemon he doesn't work on? I'm surprised, Masuda. It's good constructive criticism. I haven't seen the movie though. Don't mention the word half-baked. Pokemon to this day is one of the most potential-filled craps in the world. And no one has popped the bubble. No one's even tried to. Woo! Beta Therian forms! Can I look at this, please? Why is everything gotta be deleted?